In today's video, I'm going to be interviewing Pam and Steve, who relocated from New York to Sun City here in the South Carolina Lowcountry. And you're going to be learning all about their story, why they moved, and what life is like here now. So if that interests you, stay tuned because we're getting after it right now. Do you want to know everything there is to know about the South Carolina Lowcountry, whether it's Bluffton, Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, or Jasper County? Then subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know every time I put out a new video. My name is David Simcox, host of this channel and a local real estate agent. I get calls and emails every day from people just like you looking to make their move here, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 3 days, 3 months, or even 3 years, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, or you can even book a Zoom call by going to lowcountrylifestylesteam.com. Now, let's get into their story. All right, so thank you guys so much for taking the time to be on camera. I know not everybody's being comfortable being on camera, but I really do appreciate it and appreciate the fact that you guys are customers and friends, so thank you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
All right, so first question, you guys ready to rock and roll?
Yeah,
Sure.
we are.
Let's do it.
All right, so when your friends and family back home ask you what life is like here in Sun City, what do you tell them?
That we absolutely love it. It was the
Okay.
best decision we ever made. I haven't looked back, really. And we've had friends come down that have absolutely fell in love with the place, too. So it was the best move we ever made.
Okay, I was going to ask you, does that usually make them want to come visit?
Yeah, actually, we had a few visitors already, some family, some friends. We've had actually 6 people here in the house at one time, 6 others besides us, and it worked out really well. We had a nice long weekend with friends. We've had a couple of family come over, and everybody has enjoyed it. They can't believe all the things we're doing because everybody thought, oh, we're going to go up north for retirement. We decided to come down south as we felt like we just loved it when we first walked in. And the best thing is we're just so active. We've met friends right away, and they can't believe how active we are so early in the game.
Okay, so let's just hit the rewind button. Let's go back. You guys have been here about a year, but let's just rewind, a year, 5 years, 10 years in the past. Before Sun City was even on your radar, what was your life looking like? Who were you before you moved here?
We lived in Ramsey, New Jersey. Our daughter moved out after college to Washington State, and she's living out there. So we were living in New Jersey, and I think our plan was always to retire on Cape Cod.
Okay.
That was going to be, I thought that would be where I would wind up. And one of Steve's cousins, like almost 10 years ago, I would say, mentioned Bluffton. So that was always in the back of my mind, but I still always thought we'd wind up on Cape Cod. And we had a few tough winters. And then Steve's cousin said that they were coming down to look at Sun City and Bluffton. And I thought, why not? We should at least look at it before moving on.
Okay, and so that kind of goes to the next question, and maybe that is the moment that things changed, but what point did you start to feel like it was time for like a new chapter of life?
We had some family stuff going on, and I think that kind of triggered a lot of this. Decided to sell our house. I had been working in New York City for over 40 years, and I think I felt like it was time for a change. We came down here and it just hit us. We loved the idea of warm weather 90% of the time. Yes, we had a little bit of snow this year, but it was melted in about
a day or two.
It was quite fast that it melted and all, which was great. But the thing that really kind of clicked for us is just, you know what, it's time. We lived in our house for a long time, and I think it was tough saying goodbye to everybody, family and friends that were still there. We've embraced this change like we never thought we would, so very, very happy with that.
Is there a specific moment that you can recall where like a light bulb went off where you thought Sun City is sort of the place?
I can take that one.
Okay.
We came down and we spent a day. We went over to Savannah. We went to Church of the Cross. We spent a day sort of like just sightseeing and feeling out the area. Stopped for coffee, had, a nice dinner in Savannah that evening. The next day, we met you over here in Sun City, and we looked at a few lots to build, and then you had mentioned that there was a move-in ready, and we particularly wanted this model, the Palmieri, so we drove over here. I got to the corner where I turned, and I saw the kitchen and the gathering room, and I saw that the sunroom was here, and I looked at Steve. I said, this is it, we're done. And I had realtors lined up in Cape Cod and out in Washington State, so yeah, I just knew, you get that gut feeling. feeling that you're home. That's what happened for me.
So the house, yes. What was it about the community that you were like, this is the fit?
I think looking at the pools for me was, that intrigued me, the fact that there was going to be a new amenity center. But I never thought I'd be as involved as I am with the activities and the clubs. But I know you want to talk
I think one other thing also is just the surrounding area within Sun City, the landscaping, there's lots of trees, there's lots of greenery, there's lots of lagoons, lots of golf, just a lot of that, seeing all that was just, was amazing to see and witness. And I was like, whoa, could we live here? And the one other thing that is really nice is to see, yes, the houses are kind of different, but a lot of them, they're nice, they're kept up, they're new looking, really I think helps sell it as opposed to going to a place where, especially as Pam has mentioned, Cape Cod, you might have a brand new house next to a very old house, and this neighborhood here seems to be a little bit nicer and cleaner and easier to navigate.
And we didn't have to do anything. That was an important part too. We just moved in, it's move-in ready, so.
Well, that kind of brings me to my next question. Maybe it was too easy for you, but for somebody that's watching this right now and they're a little intimidated about moving, maybe they've been in the same place for 30 years, what are some of the actual challenges that a person has to face, packing up moving trucks, like all that kind of logistical stuff, or just moving your whole life, basically? Right. How challenging was that? What did you go through?
Once we found this place and we went back home, we, started the process. We had already sold our home in New Jersey when we found this home down here. Mm-hmm. So we knew we had to move. We just didn't know where to. But it was challenging. We decided to bring a lot of our furniture from north down here, and actually it worked out better than I could ever have imagined, because I sort of thought we were going to have to get rid of everything and buy everything new down here. But for us, it worked. Some people sell everything and then move down. Yeah. We have a storage unit in the garage, so we put some, memorable things up there that we're not going to be using here, but, that worked for us. And just once we got down, we had to get used to, we had to register the cars and do all of that kind of stuff. So that was a little bit hard to find all the little things, but I had already seen a grocery store and different things. So, it worked. And then we tried restaurants galore and went out and every day explored, so that helped a lot too.
When you were looking at Sun City, do you remember any of the questions that you had in your head about the community? Like, a lot of people want to know about taxes, HOA, blah, 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 whatever. Do you remember some of the things that went through your head, as you were evaluating?
Yeah, I'm definitely more of the financial guy of this couple. I always like to understand what, the numbers look like, what we would have to pay for taxes, what we would have to pay for our HOA fees. They've been in line with what we've expected based on what we've been told, and now that we've been here close to a year, we're starting to see the routine of those numbers and how that works out each month, or in this instance it's actually quarterly that we pay our HOA fees.
So going back to when you were sort of deciding if you were going to go here or Cape Cod or whatever, when you're leaving friends, family, your life there, especially, a little bit later in life, like you guys are a few years ahead of me, not too much, but what sort of emotions did you go through?
Well, I think when we finally left the house, it was a little difficult. We didn't realize that the last holiday season, Christmas, was going to be the last. We had a feeling, but we weren't 100% sure. So there's always that. There's, the leaving of, family and friends, but we've been able to make it work, and we have quite a few weddings from the children of friends that will be, traveling back up to the New York area for, so we can, do that, just make it work. We have accommodations for family here as well, which makes it a little bit easier as folks come in. And there's so much to do around here that, as Pam was saying, we have Savannah, we have Beaufort, we have Hilton Head. Everything's a short drive away, and in comparison to where we lived, it's a lot easier to get around.
And there's a lot of New Yorkers in Sun City, so you probably don't feel like you don't feel like you're too far away from home.
But it is kind of nice because everybody down here seems to be nicer. I think we all left our attitudes back up in the Northeast in New York and New Jersey.
Is there anything that you thought you would miss from New York, or anything you do miss from New York?
The only thing which is kind of funny is pizza and bagels is really the two things that we don't quite have down here. But it's easy enough to find other types of new food and cuisine that we had not expected to find.
We replaced it with she crab soup
Yes,
and
yes.
shrimp and grits, yes.
Have you been to the New York Butcher Shop down at New Riverside?
Yes, we have been.
Okay, and there's supposed to be a bagel place here too that it's made with the New York water.
New York Nosh, I think
I
you
think
might
so,
be
yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
Is it as good as the New York bagels?
Well, just it's not
Close.
quite there. But we always had so many different options. Even within towns, there were 3 or 4 different bagel or pizza places, and we all had our, which one's our favorite.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, so I'm going to get deep and philosophical with you for a minute. When people reach this stage of life, often there's a deeper question underneath it. Is it better to stay somewhere familiar or take a chance on creating a new lifestyle somewhere else? How did you wrestle with that question, and what would you say to somebody that's maybe wrestling with that question right now?
I'm very glad that we took the chance and that we created a new lifestyle, really. It's not just a matter of a new state to live in. The lifestyle is different here. You could be as active as you want to be. You could be more quiet. At home, I retired 5 years before Steve did. So I was home in Ramsey for 5 years with really not much going on. I was out and active, but around here, you look at your social calendar and you could do as much as you want. Like this afternoon, we'll be over at the Somerset Lake for, they're going to have live on the lake, and you bring your own chairs and and they have live music, and it's just wonderful. And we have a core group of wonderful friends that we get together with socially, and then we go explore, and then family comes to visit and friends come to visit. Our daughter comes in several times, so it's really nice. The house works well for having people visit, and I'm thrilled with the lifestyle. So if you're contemplating a change, go for it. Take the risk. It's worth it.
Okay. All right. So we've kind of touched on this, but so you have other people that are friends, family that are in here, and more people coming because you've been referring them to me, and I appreciate that. Would you say that maybe gave you the confidence to say, okay, let's do this, we're moving here, or was that just a small piece of it?
That didn't even enter into it until after we moved here.
Okay.
And then
so
they
you
saw
set
it.
the precedent, and then they followed you.
We
Yeah,
sort of just
absolutely.
jumped into it. Yeah.
We were amazed by the feedback that we got from some, family and friends, and just being very happy for us. And some of, like we said, perhaps even look to come down here, and some of them will at least want to visit on a somewhat regular basis. So I think that also, that vote of confidence maybe came afterwards, but kind of reassured us that, yeah, we did make the right move.
And Steve's cousin, they were the ones that found this place. So we have to credit them for bringing us here. They were the ones that said, we're going to go visit.
Do you want to give them a shout out if they happen to watch this?
Kathy and Artie, thank you so much.
Thanks, Artie. Thanks, Kathy.
They moved in and they bought the same weekend, but thanks for showing this to us because we're in love with it.
That's awesome. All right, so we're getting close to the end. I think I've got 2 more questions for you. So now that you're here, and this may look different for both of you guys because I don't know if you do everything together or if you have your own schedule, so maybe you both want to answer this. But what does a typical week look like for you here in Sun City? And what are some of the things that fill your time now that didn't before?
Sure, I
Definitely
can
different.
start out, and definitely different. Since I'm here, one of the guys came up to me at something called a concrete cocktail. Concrete cocktails are just a way for the neighborhood to have some social time and get to know each of the other neighbors. One of them said, I'm thinking about setting up a golf group of guys, and maybe we get out once or twice a week. Well, I jumped all over that, and it's been great. Sundays and Wednesdays, I'm out golfing. I had not picked up a club in years and years, and really enjoying it. Some other things we do are more nighttime focused, where we will do with other couples or just friends, and we'll be going out. There's some music events and some trivia events. I'll let Pam talk about some of the things she does during the day that are different from what I do.
Well, I think we find ourselves more active Monday through Friday than on weekends. It's just the way that happens. But I love the pools around here, but I also started chair yoga. And so some of the clubs and the activities are amazing. And Kathy started an American Canasta group. So we meet Wednesday evenings and Friday afternoons. So that's outstanding. And then there was chair yoga and then the swimming. And there was something else that we were active in. And the art club and the
Glass.
stained glass were two clubs that I joined, and I'm working on those. Yeah, it really, you can do as much or as little as you want, which is wonderful, you know. And then they have so many things. They have Funny Business, which is a comedy night. They have trivia twice a month, which we go to as a group. We get tables of 4 or 8, and we do that. That's a phenomenal thing. Yeah, we have a lot of bourbon and blues and all different types of things that they offer. So we're very active.
All right.
More than I thought.
I'm glad you're liking it.
Way
Yeah.
more than we thought.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, last question. The person that's watching this video right now, maybe they're in another part of the country, maybe they're in New York, maybe they're, in California, New Jersey, wherever, Ohio. If they're watching this right now and you want to give them a little tidbit of advice or any parting words, what would it be?
I would say contact David Simcox, most definitely. That's
I did not put her up to that.
That's the most important thing. He'll guide you every step of the way. Definitely come visit Bluffton, come visit Sun City. I would highly recommend Sun City. It's a great community, everybody's friendly, and it's pristine. I mean, it's just everywhere I look. I can't imagine how they keep it as good as it's been about 30 years out, I think. It's a wonderful group of people. I would highly encourage you to at least put it on your list to come and check it out.
I think another thing is, especially coming from the Northeast, the climate here is just so much more friendly. The winter here has not been that cold. We had a few cold days, but nothing severe. It was warm over the summer, but it wasn't that bad. And there's enough things to do, and they're inside as well if you don't want to be outside, but there's pools here. So you can definitely keep cool. And then, I mentioned the beach. The beach is a short drive away. Beautiful, beautiful beaches. And so many different activities that you should never be bored. But if you want quiet time, we actually sit here in our sunroom and read. That was another thing I never had done, never got the chance to. I was on commuting and working and not focused. So again, it gives you opportunities that you didn't dream of, and at least we didn't dream of. So good luck with your next move, wherever it may be.
Thank you guys again, number one, for trusting me to do business with me. Thank you for allowing me to stay in contact with you. And thank you for taking your time out of your day to day to share your experience with the person watching this. I hope it was helpful to them. And
I hope so.
really do appreciate
And
you guys.
thank you so much
Thank
for,
you.
Thank you for all that you did and are still doing. So
It was our pleasure. We really
Yeah.
Enjoyed the experience.
Sounds great. Thank you
Thanks,
guys.
David.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for staying until the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed meeting Pam and Steve, and I hope you enjoyed hearing their story, and I hope that it inspired you to possibly make a big move. If I can help you find your own low country lifestyle, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, or you can always book a Zoom call by going to lowcountrylifestylesteam.com. As always, I hope to meet you in person at some point, but if not, I will at least see you on the next video.